In a world cluttered with information, where truth is power, Lawin Weekly News stands apart.
We delve deeper, uncover facts, and bring stories to light. From political showdowns and economic triumphs to the pulse of the street and the heart of the community.
We capture the moments that define us, stories that challenge, inspire, and transform.
Tune in live Sundays 8 a.m. Central Standard Time and Sundays 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
These are Lawin headlines for this week. Arctic blast hits Texas, prompting winter storm and freeze watches. Houston lands at number 4 on list of most anxious U.S. cities. Scam alerts for Verizon users waiting on $20 outage refund. TikTok confirms deal creating new U.S. entity to prevent ban. Ex-South Korean Prime Minister sentenced to 23 years in martial law case. PACCTX-GDFW reschedules pickleball fellowship to February 1st due to winter storm. Philippine consulate urges caution for mail-back services.
Good day, I am Neska, and tonight we bring you the latest stories in the United States of America, especially the state of Texas. So sit back, relax, and let Lawin Weekly News be your guide to the news that matters most. An Arctic cold front swept across Texas on Saturday, January 24th, bringing sub-freezing temperatures, winter precipitation, and multiple weather alerts, including winter storm and freeze watches. Meteorologists warned residents to prepare for dangerously low temperatures through January 27, with the coldest conditions expected Monday morning. Officials urged Texans to protect people, pets, and plants in pipes. Homeowners were advised to keep indoor temperatures above 60 Fahrenheit. Insulate outdoor spigots, allow faucets to drip, and safely thaw frozen pipes to prevent damage. South Texas communities opened warming centers to shelter vulnerable residents. In Nueces County, the Robestown Senior Community Center provided cots, meals, and pet accommodations through January 27. Cleburne County's Human Services Building and multiple Jim Wells County sites offered similar facilities with free transportation from the Corpus Christi Regional Transportation Authority. Authorities stress that residents should monitor weather updates, avoid unnecessary travel, and seek assistance if needed. Officials emphasized preparation and community support as essential to minimizing the storm's impact on people and property. Texas Governor Greg Abbott on Friday ordered state agencies to investigate potential fraud in the Texas Medicaid program. The move comes after federal officials under the Trump administration reported possible Medicaid fraud in other states and directed states to implement stronger anti-fraud measures. In a letter to state officials overseeing Medicaid, Abbott instructed agencies to review current operations, identify vulnerabilities that could allow fraudulent activity, and strengthen procedures to prevent and detect improper payments. The governor also expanded his previous push for more rigorous anti-fraud investigations in state programs to specifically include Texas Medicaid. Abbott emphasized that his office expects agencies to apply these additional safeguards consistently across the program. The directive signals Abbott's continued focus on ensuring the integrity of state programs while responding to federal concerns about Medicaid oversight nationwide. Texas families seeking private school vouchers through the state's new Education Freedom Accounts program can begin applying on February 4th this year. State officials expect strong demand and limited funding for the 2026-27 school year. The Texas Education Agency said the program will provide state-funded accounts that eligible families can use for private school tuition and approved educational expenses. More than 300 private schools in the Houston area have already been approved to participate. Applicants will be prioritized based on household income, disability status, and prior enrollment in public or charter schools. Top priority goes to children with disabilities from households earning up to 500% of the federal poverty level. Lower income households follow the higher, or while higher income families are capped at no more than 20% of the total funding. Officials warned that not all eligible applicants will receive an account due to funding limits. Families with children already enrolled in private schools must list the school, which must confirm enrollment. Education consultants report rising interest with private school applications in Houston, up an estimated 30% to 40%. Families are urged to review tuition contracts carefully as award notices are expected in April. Houston ranks fourth among the most anxious cities in the United States, according to a new analysis of online search behavior by comparison platform Compare the Market. The study analyzed Google search data over the past year, focusing on the exact phrase anxiety symptoms to gauge public concern about anxiety. Residents in Houston entered the phrase about 23,000 times, ranking the city just behind three others nationally. Houston outpaced other major Texas cities, including Dallas, which ranked sixth with roughly 12,680 searches, and San Antonio, ninth with around 12,000 searches. The city also ranked above large metropolitan areas such as Atlanta, Las Vegas, and others. Compare the Market emphasized that the rankings reflect search activity, not medical diagnosis or confirmed rates of clinical anxiety. Researchers noted that online searches can indicate early or informal efforts by residents to understand anxiety related issues before seeking professional help. The report highlights the prominence of Texas cities in online anxiety related searches, with Houston leading the state in total search volume.
In a world filled with fleeting moments, there's beauty waiting to be captured. My name is Christian, and I specialize in immortalizing your most precious memories, from elegant weddings to vibrant events and timeless portraits. I'm here to make every moment unforgettable. Let me tell your story through the lens. Contact me today and let's create magic together.
The city of Austin confirmed it settled 80 civil lawsuits involving Austin Police Department officers over the past 5 years, with total payments reaching several $1 million. Records show these settlements resolved claims linked to police operations and encounters across the city. Some of the largest payouts came after the May 2020 protests following George Floyd's killing in Minneapolis. Many of those cases involved allegations of injuries and civil rights violations related to crowd control tactics, including so-called less lethal munitions. City officials said settlement amounts and case approvals were handled by the Austin City Council or designated staff. Most agreements were negotiated without going to trial, and payments came from general fund dollars or, in some instances, insurance or risk management funds. The timeline of settlements spans multiple fiscal years, with costs rising after the 2020 protests. City documents indicate that while some plaintiffs alleged serious physical injuries, the city often denied liability but opted to settle to avoid prolonged litigation. Each agreement included standard legal provisions such as releases of claims and dismissals with prejudice. Officials said the records reflect ongoing monitoring of police-related lawsuits and associated costs in Austin. Verizon on Thursday warned customers in Dallas and other U.S. cities about scam text messages offering a $20 refund or credit related to a recent service outage. The messages ask recipients to click a link or provide personal information about but Verizon stressed that no action is needed. Eligible accounts will receive the $20 credit automatically on upcoming bills. Scammers may send texts from local or unknown numbers referencing refunds, rebates, or compensation. Verizon advised customers to delete suspicious messages and avoid replying even when stopped to prevent confirming an active number. Customers who receive scam texts can report them by forwarding the message to 7726 or spam and should contact Verizon if they clicked a link or shared sensitive information. If payment details are exposed, alerting a bank or card issuer is recommended. Verizon said its security teams are monitoring the situation, working with law enforcement, and urged users to verify unexpected messages directly through the official Verizon website or app. Both individual and business accounts may be targeted. San Antonio Police Chief William McManus announced in Austin that he will retire later this year, ending nearly 2 decades leading the San Antonio Police Department. McManus is the longest tenured police chief in the city's history. McManus has served as chief since 2006, overseeing one of the largest law enforcement agencies in Texas. During his tenure, he led department-wide initiatives focused on policy reforms, officer training, and responses to major public safety incidents. He also guided the department through periods of heightened national scrutiny of law enforcement while expanding the use of technology and accountability measures. Before coming to San Antonio, McManus served as police chief in Minneapolis and Dayton, Ohio. He began his law enforcement career in Washington, D.C., bringing decades of experience in municipal policing to his role in Texas. City officials said McManus will remain in the position for several months to ensure continuity of operations. No exact retirement date has been announced, and the process for selecting his successor has not been outlined. TikTok has finalized an agreement to form a new United States-based entity, even as a federal law that could actively or effectively ban the app remains in place but unenforced. The short video platform is owned by Chinese company ByteDance. The move follows legislation passed last year requiring TikTok to sever ties with Chinese ownership or face restrictions in the U.S. President Donald Trump's administration that has not enforced the law, allowing the app to continue operating nationwide. U.S. officials have raised national security concerns, warning that TikTok could allow the Chinese government access to American user data. TikTok has denied those allegations, saying U.S. user data is stored outside China and protected from foreign government interference. Under the new agreement, the U.S. entity will oversee American operations, including user data and certain technical functions. It will operate under governance rules that include U.S.-based board members, data handling requirements, and oversight mechanisms, including potential audits. ByteDance will retain a financial stake in the company through its direct operational control. It's expected to be limited under the new structure.
Join us for a captivating new series where Lawin sits down with the trailblazers of the music and entertainment world. Discover the stories behind the faces and voices that shape our culture and community.
We will bring you exclusive interviews with industry legends and rising stars. Behind the scenes insights and get a peek into the creative processes and personal journeys. Artists and performers and their upcoming shows and events.
Stay tuned for more updates and sneak peeks. Follow us on social media and subscribe to our channel.
President Donald Trump said Wednesday in Washington that a U.S. naval armada is heading toward the Gulf as the United States closely monitors Iran. Even as both sides signal interest in renewed talks and reduced expectations of immediate military action. Trump said that the United States ordered the movement of significant naval forces following recent tensions with Iran, including concerns over Tehran's nuclear and ballistic missile programs. He said military action remains an option, despite recent diplomatic signals. The president noted that the U.S. supported and joined Israel's 12-day war in June aimed at degrading Iran's nuclear and missile capabilities. U.S. officials said the conflict targeted infrastructure linked by Western intelligence to those programs. Diplomats said the likelihood of immediate U.S. military action has eased in recent days. As both Washington and Tehran emphasized diplomacy, Trump said Iran appeared interested in talks, though no conditions were specified. Senior officials said that the deployment is intended to deter Iran, reassure allies, protect maritime routes, and maintain readiness as diplomacy continues. Public Works Secretary Vince Deason said that Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has directed the Department of Public Works and Highways to complete all pending infrastructure projects nationwide by 2026 to ensure clearer priorities and more efficient use of government funds. Deason said the DPWH is facing a significant backlog of unfinished projects across multiple regions and is still consolidating a comprehensive inventory, which has delayed the setting of individual completion timelines. The backlog includes various types of infrastructure projects under the department's portfolio. He said the finalized inventory will guide construction schedules, funding allocation, and coordination with regional and district engineering offices. Field units will validate project status and submit reports on physical progress, remaining work, and funding needs. The DPWH will assess implementation bottlenecks, including right-of-way issues, contractor performance, and permit delays, and recommended corrective measures. Deason noted that the DPWH's 2026 budget is 529.6 billion pesos, lower than the 881 billion pesos proposed, requiring stricter prioritization. Projects lacking sufficient funding may be rescheduled or implemented in phases, subject to future budget approvals. A South Korean court in Seoul sentenced former Prime Minister Han Duck-soo to 23 years in prison, ruling that then-President Yoon Suk-yeol's declaration of martial law in December 2024 constituted an act of rebellion. Han was found guilty for his role in the decision. The court identified Han as the first official from the Yoon administration convicted on rebellion charges related to the martial law order. Judges determined that the presidential decree and its implementation met the legal criteria for rebellion under South Korean law. Prosecutors said Han, appointed by Yoon as prime minister, participated in both the decision-making and execution of the martial law measures. Han's defense challenged the characterization of the decree as rebellion disputed his authority over military and security actions. The court rejected those arguments, holding Han criminally responsible for aiding in measures that unlawfully expanded military control over state institutions. Han retains the right to appeal. The prosecutor said they will continue pursuing other pending rebellion cases linked to the martial law incident. The Philippine American Chamber of Commerce Texas, Region 1, Dallas Fort Worth, announced that its Pickleball Fellowship, originally scheduled for Sunday, January 25th this year, has been rescheduled due to the winter storm or Arctic blast affecting Texas. The event will now take place on Sunday, Feb 1 this year from 6 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. CST at the Ace Pickleball Club, 2930 Preston Road, Suite 600, Frisco, Texas 75324. Organizers emphasize that the safety and well-being of participants remain their top priority. All previously registered participants can attend on the new date, with registrations remaining valid. The organization looks forward to welcoming members and guests for a fun and engaging pickleball fellowship. The Philippine Consulate General in Houston is reminding clients who choose to receive their consular documents by mail to take extra precautions to ensure safe and timely delivery. Applicants are advised to double check that their delivery address, including the zip code, is complete, clear, and legible. Clients are also urged to make sure there is sufficient postage to allow mailed documents to reach their intended destination without delay. The consulate strongly recommends using reputable courier services such as DHL, FedEx, or UPS to reduce the risk of lost or delayed documents. Officials emphasize that the consulate cannot be held responsible for delays, damage, or loss of documents once they are in transit or under the custody of courier service. Clients are encouraged to follow these guidelines carefully to help ensure the secure and successful receipt of important consular documents.
For divorce and family law in Texas, Liggett Dizon Law Firm PC will guide you every step of the way.
From initial consultation to detailed review of your case and strategic planning,
We'll sit with you during negotiations or mediations, and represent you in court.
whether it is a family law, estate planning, or immigration, we will be there to guide through the final steps.
So, leave your legal matters behind you and embrace your future.
You can contact Liggett Dizon Law Firm PC at 346-5454-346 or visit dizonlawfirm.com.
Carlos Alcaraz said at the Australian Open that he does not feel pressured to act as a good ambassador for tennis in the mold of Roger Federer or Rafael Nadal. The 22-year-old Spaniard, a six-time Grand Slam champion and current world number one, made the comments after defeating Germany's Yannick Hanfmann to reach the tournament's third round. Alcaraz, widely regarded as one of tennis's most marketable figures, said he focuses on his own game and personal development rather than projecting a particular ambassadorial image. When asked about comparisons to Federer and Nadal, he acknowledged their global stature but emphasized following his own path. The straight sets win included a close first set tiebreak, after which Alcaraz took control of the match. The victory keeps him on track for a deep run at Melbourne Park, where his upcoming matches are expected to draw large crowds and strong broadcast interest. Alcaraz remains focused on competing and improving, aiming to continue his pursuit of a career Grand Slam. Filipino tennis player Alex Yala expressed pride and gratitude as organizers unveiled a mural featuring her alongside several national sports icons at the newly refurbished Rizal Memorial Tennis Center in Manila. Yala will headline the inaugural Philippine Women's Open or WTA event at the venue. The mural places Yala beside boxing champion Manny Pacquiao, Olympic gold medalist Carlos Yulo and Hylene Diaz, basketball legend Robert Jaworski, and representatives from women's football, baseball, and swimming. Yala said she felt honored to appear alongside established Philippine sports figures at the stadium where she will compete. She is set to open her main draw campaign against a Russian opponent. Tournament organizers and the Rizal Memorial Sports Complex commissioned the murals as part of renovation works to highlight Filipino athletic achievements ahead of the WTA event. Spectators and media captured photos and videos of the mural, which will remain permanently at the stadium to celebrate the athletes and promote local sports. South Korean singer and actor Cha Yun-woo, whose legal name is Lee Dong-min, is facing allegations of evading more than 20 billion won, or $13.6 million in taxes, according to reports from a National Tax Service audit conducted last year. The audit found that Cha's entertainment income flowed through a company established by his mother, identified in media reports as Company A, which held a service contract with his management agency. Payment for his work were made to the company rather than directly to Cha. Tax authorities examined whether Company A performed actual business services or primarily served to reduce Cha's personal tax burden. The assessment reportedly includes additional income tax and related charges, calculated using the company's earnings, commission rates, and fee structures. The audit took place ahead of Cha's scheduled military enlistment in July 2025, part of standard compliance reviews for high-income individuals. His management agency has not released a public statement regarding the fundings. Cha continues to maintain an active career in music, acting, and endorsements while the tax dispute is being reviewed. Actress Solenn Yusuf revealed on a recent talk show that she and husband Vico Balzico will not allow their daughters to use gadgets until they turn 18. Speaking on GMA's Fast Talk with Boy Abunda, Yusuf said their daughters, Maylee 3 and Thilani 6, do not currently have tablets, smartphones, or personal electronic devices. She added that Thilani doesn't even know what Instagram is. Yusuf explained the decision comes from concerns over society's over-reliance on technology. The couple encourages their children to focus on offline activities such as play and interactive learning, rather than screen-based entertainment. She noted that simpler communication tools like pagers might be allowed in the future. However, personal devices such as mobile phones will likely be introduced only when the children reach around 18 or 19 years old. The actress emphasized the importance of creating a balanced environment for their daughters before introducing technology. As we brace ourselves for the upcoming weather changes, let's dive into what you can expect day by day. Whether you're planning outdoor activities or just preparing for the week, we've got you covered with the most accurate forecast. Stay tuned with us as we take a closer look at the weather patterns that will impact our regions. Remember, here at Lawin Weekly News, we bring you the clearest skies to the stormiest forecasts.
Here is your Lawin Weekly News weather forecast in Houston, Texas. On January 25th, Sunday, the temperature peaks around 56 degrees Fahrenheit and dips to 32 degrees Fahrenheit at night. Partly cloudy with an Arctic blast expected to impact Houston, bringing much colder temperatures and gusty winds. On January 26th, Monday, the high is near 54 degrees Fahrenheit with a low around 30 degrees Fahrenheit. Mostly sunny early, then becoming cloudy, with an Arctic blast expected to impact Houston, bringing much colder temperatures and gusty winds. On January 27th, Tuesday, the temperature reaches 52 degrees Fahrenheit and drops to 28 degrees Fahrenheit overnight. Mostly cloudy and cold, with an Arctic blast expected to impact Houston, bringing much colder temperatures and gusty winds. On January 28th, Wednesday, the high will be about 50 degrees Fahrenheit with a low near 27 degrees Fahrenheit. Sunny but significantly colder, with an Arctic blast expected to impact Houston, bringing much colder temperatures and gusty winds. On January 29th, Thursday, the temperature peaks at 48 degrees Fahrenheit and dips to 26 degrees Fahrenheit at night. Clear and cold, with an Arctic blast expected to impact Houston, bringing much colder temperatures and gusty winds. On January 30th, Friday, the high is around 49 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 27 degrees Fahrenheit. Mostly sunny and frigid, with an Arctic blast expected to impact Houston, bringing much colder temperatures and gusty winds. On January 31st, Saturday, the temperature reaches 51 degrees Fahrenheit and drops to 29 degrees Fahrenheit overnight. Partly sunny and cold, with an Arctic blast expected to impact Houston, bringing much colder temperatures and gusty winds.
So those were the latest stories in Texas this week. I am Nesca Santina from Lawin Media Network. Have a great day.
Lawin Weekly News.
Tune in live Sundays 8 a.m. Central Standard Time and Sundays 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Lawin Weekly News.